Hello, hello. Okay, yeah, no problem. Hello, hello, everyone. My mic was muted. It's no longer such. I hope everyone can hear me. It looks like the sound on my end on the visuals looks like they're coming through loud and clear. We are incredibly grateful for a wonderful um, holiday season. That's New Year's will be is right around the corner. And today um, is Thursday. We're a couple days before the beginning of the year. What's up, Matt? Yeah, Christmas was great. Traveled up Northern California. It's been kind of like hit or miss skeleton crew. We got most everyone here today. What's up, Red Rebel, Vito? Um, I'm going to be doing a little bit of, as if you looked at the title of this video, it's a little clickbaity, but actually it's, I'll try to make it not clickbait. I'll try to actually back it up with facts. Um, but before I get into some of the educational part that we're going to cut out later for what we're building with the whole education section, I want to do a couple quick announcements. So, first and foremost, let me show you the first exchange that we're going to be going on. It's P2B on the list. This exchange, it fluctuates. They were 44 a couple days ago. Right now they're 37. They were 36. It changes. This is the first exchange we're going to be going on. I want to break down kind of why we chose P2B, why we're going with this one. There was a lot that went into the decision making. The reality is we've been in contact with over 40 different exchanges that are excited to work with our project. Most of the time we hear, not everyone's genuine, but we felt these guys are really genuine. There were some other people that were really genuine too, but we think they're better for kind of the later stages. P2B was not the cheapest actually, but they seemed very passionate about our project, which we really liked. Their ranking was under the top 50, so it's not a top 10 or top 20 as far as the who they service, but for we broke it down into their volume as a ratio to their cost, and they actually came at a really good value. It wasn't just their every first off, every exchange has listing fees. You have to provide liquidity. They've got all these listing rules and rules that if you don't abide by, they delist you. Their contract was actually very to the point. It wasn't bloated. Their delisting rules were attainable. It's not something that we're like, it's like, yeah, we're gonna have to jump through some hoops. Of course, we want to make sure that we're fulfilling everything, but they seemed very willing to work with us, and we negotiated a little bit with all the different exchanges, and they just came in. We got it down to a final three. And what we did was we gave the final three like, hey, you're in the final three. You made it to the final three. We're giving the final three an opportunity to come with their best deal, for us, because this is a big move, and it's not cheap to list with exchanges. Is you front a lot, and they come with marketing plans, and they came and they just blew everybody out of the water. Really, they just came in, they said, you know what, we want to work with you, and so we're happy and excited to work with them. They cover territories that I think are going to be really good supplement to what we already have. We tried to have in our final three selection a lot of areas that we don't have currently covered that can really represent and bring in people that have no other access to Anubit. So I think that's a really big win. And yeah, so this is who we're going to go with first. You guys are hearing it here first. We announced that we're looking at exchange and this and that, and there was a couple things where we had some other players that were really eyeballing the top 20s, but what the bang for the buck, the value wasn't as good, and some of their contracts, honestly, were like just kind of like, wow, we probably better start with someone who's a little friendlier to new projects, because even though I know you guys know we've been around for a good 6 months now, in the crypto space we're still kind of new. It's not like we've been where we're XRP that has been around since 2013 or whatever. We're we're a 2022 crypto company. We are still new. We'll be able to say once it's 2023 that, oh, we launched last year. We can't even say that yet. We're days away, but we can't say that yet. But anyway, you're going to see a lot of marketing through these guys, where there's a lot of collaboration. Our team's going to be working together. It's much more. It's not like for lack of a better word, like a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. It's a little bit of a relationship, and this is our first foray. They do have things called market makers, which um, they do two fundamental things. They augment volume to make sure that there's no lulls, and they also do spread thinning so that if there's disparities between multiples exchanges or the DEX, where the prices on one go high versus low, they try to make those differences minimized so that there's continuity in price across your pairs. And for those that aren't familiar with even the phrase pairs, I apologize. But we'll be making our own. But for now, we're going to use theirs. And instead of doing anything manually, we're going to do what we do best, is we're going to develop systems using our AI to automate the process as much as possible. I don't know if they're using AI or just simple algorithms, but we're gonna be doing our own. And I think we'll probably be expanding our market making, not for others to use, but I see a lot of opportunity right now to automate. There's lots of different pairs that have different prices, right? And so the question is, what's your opportunity cost, and is there profit in buying low and selling high on various exchanges? And sometimes the fees would eat up your potential profit margin, and that's why no one's doing it. Sometimes, though, there's profit being made, and if you're doing it in larger quantities, then there's lots of profit because you just multiply it. And so once we get this dialed in for our own stuff, I see us expanding that to roll out, and we could be doing as a supplemental quite a bit, quite a bit. So there's a lot of opportunity there. This just kind of gets our feet wet into that whole space. For Anubit, other announcements. So other than the fact that we're going on P2B exchange, which is a pretty high volume, they're doing on any given day about 700 million in volume per day in trading, which is it's not small, guys. It's a lot of volume. Some of that's augmented. Like I told you, assume that 50%, but even if you cut that in half, and it's about 340 million in volume, in trading volume every 24 hours, that still leaves a lot of eyeballs and a lot of money being moved around on coins on their platform. So it's a really good home for us. And unlike, like, if I go to, let me show you as a comparison. If I look at uh, Binance, on the number of coins they have 383, 237, 700. Binance US has 151. But if I go down to these guys, they don't have a ton. P2B is sitting at only 140 points. So we're not like, it's not super crowded. It's not, a 300 coin or 200 coin. It's actually a pretty good count. We were pretty happy with that. They are friendly to new projects. They get pretty good weekly traffic. That I feel they're more honest than some of the other players that are possibly less honest. Where they're not reporting their accurate traffic, but yeah, their traffic is pretty damn good. Um, uh, especially as a ratio to their volume. Like you can see that the traffic's about the same, but their volume is like 3 times this one. So their traffic tends to move and spend more, which is also factors into the our ratio of analysis to see. We built an algorithm. We put all the exchanges in an algorithm. We were able to isolate the ones that are the hidden gems of value, especially when looking at a ratio of their listing fees to their volume. So, and we accounted for their market making fluff numbers, of course. So, and which is the higher exchanges have about 50%. Some of the lower, top 80 exchanges, up to 80% of the volume could be uh, fluffed. So, anyway, I'm gonna skip to another thing. Another quick announcement is, if you're watching and you haven't messaged me already, and you're a holder, send a private message. We are gonna do some end of the year bonus coin for those that have are holding. We want to take care of you guys. So I know we did one before around Thanksgiving area. We're going to be doing another. I'm going to try to do that tomorrow and process it. If I don't see enough people have responded yet, I do want to give a larger window. It's going to happen though before we actually get listed. The roadmap to getting listed, obviously, we pay our listing fees, we sign our contract, we generate the marketing plan with them, we institute the marketing. That the marketing happens kind of like whet the appetites of Anubit's about to be listed. And so there's pre-marketing hype that they build up, and then we get listed, and then there's, if they've done it right, there's a little bit of a blitzkrieg. So the other thing is, I mentioned this before, is the requirements to stay listed and to not be delisted are not small. And one of the things that, if you guys are noticing the price right now, it's much easier for us to start in with a low price and have it go up, and very problematic if you start off, and I'll explain why, with a high price and then it starts going down. Because what they assume is that you're just, that there's some funny business going on, that your price has been like okay, and then all of a sudden you go on the exchange, it dips. That means that people are just cashing out through them. There's some tomfoolery, whereas they want a good faith relationship, or we're not bilking them out of like, oh yeah, it cost us X amount to get on, but we just extracted X amount out of your exchange somehow. They don't want that. They don't mind cashing people out, but they want it to be in good faith. And so it would be problematic if we created a scenario where the price starts out high and it starts dipping. It at least put some eyeballs on it. So obviously that's not the plan. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that we're going to hit, and we didn't go with their least package when it came to marketing. We actually are going with their highest. So there's going to be a lot of hype built, which, hype, whether you're real or fake, hype generates the numbers. Sadly, it's not often about substance. It's about all the marketing that goes to things, because people don't even know enough to discern a good project from a bad project. Okay. The other thing is Angelina's got some amazing stuff coming up for 2023, a lot more educational stuff, and a lot of clever ways to tie back to that. So our marketing strategy is going to be twofold. Giving you guys all the info here. We're going to do clever videos that draw traffic, and then we're going to use those to cross-reference to things and get, a lot of people have questions and they don't know where to go. So then we're going to provide them with the answers. And so you're going to see things that are relevant but very fun-sided, and then you're going to see some hardcore, like, oh shit, they got some real stuff here. It's not all just fun and games. So we're going to use kind of like a two-pronged approach on that sense, where we get baity stuff that brings people to our stuff, and interlaced in there is some very real shit, and there's going to be a lot of gray area in between. So we're not always going to take ourselves too serious. This one's a little serious, not a lot of light fun. I don't have I don't have Omar doing the snake in here right now, and we're not doing shots, but we did just drink some wine. But you're going to see a bunch of that. All right, let me get to, for those that don't want education, if you just wanted to hear an update from the team on some things that are going on, unless something else occurs to me that I'm missing, because we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants right now with, uh, you know, uh, trying to jam pack a bunch of stuff into a short duration. Because everybody's like, Omar's leaving tomorrow and taking a couple days and going out of town and going to some fancy ball, and there's stuff happening. Life happens. We're people. But if you're interested in the education, stick around. If you're not, I could have recorded the next part without streaming it live. So I'm going to be talking about Bitcoin and energy, and like the title of this stream said, Bitcoin could go to zero. What? So here's the thing: Bitcoin is paired with a lot of stuff in the industry, and the more paired it is, and when I say pairs, let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's go to a couple big exchanges. Okay, let's go to Coinbase. Here's one. So the question is, what is Bitcoin paired with? So here's BTC right there, paired with that. BTC paired with ETH. Anything BTC paired, obviously the euro, with US dollar. These are all what you consider pairs, where BTC with Solana. So if you want to trade, the more pairs there are throughout all the exchanges to Bitcoin, the more that, and I'll just scroll down here, right? Looks like not so much so far. They don't have as many with BTC, that's for sure. USDC, they got a lot of pairs, but not a lot of BTC. Let's go to another one. KuCoin might. Oh, KuCoin just does a straight list. Bitstamp. BTC to the euro, especially as it's BTC. Yeah, to the British pound, BTC to XRP, BTC to USD. As you see more and more pairs, what it does is it actually anchors Bitcoin as one of the most paired things. Now, the other most paired thing is actually, as far as I can tell, is Tether. Tether's paired to a lot, which is why you see a lot of people buy in. Let me see, move my head. That's a lot of volume, 18 billion in volume. Actually, more volume than Bitcoin is Tether. So these things that are paired all over the place, it means that anytime crypto is traded, they're part of an exchange somehow. So even if it's market making, like if there's a price differential, they go, oh, well, let's equalize things. So Bitcoin's paired everywhere. Bitcoin, if it weren't paired with anything, I think would wither away and die, of course. Its pairs are its strength. There's a lot of people that think right now that Bitcoin's proof of work model, which is original, it's like the original way of doing blockchain was proof of work. And people tell you, oh, it's about these complex equations, it's about this, it's about that. Proof of work, once you strip down the layers of how they accomplish it, it boils down to one thing. Proof of work, when you hear that, what you should equate it to is energy. It's energy consumption. Machines are powered through electricity, which crunch these numbers, and you got to have banks of these machines in order to validate transactions. So if you take the machines out, just picture it, there's a certain amount of electricity that is required to process Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's usage, let's see if we can pull that up. Bitcoin energy usage. Let's see if we can find it with images here. power hungry. Let's see if we can click on this. So it has its environmental costs, right? So here's just a graph of Bitcoin energy usage. It's been pretty steadily increasing. It's not gonna go down. The nature of the beast with Bitcoin's energy consumption is that it's going to steadily trend upwards as it grows. So here's my problem with Bitcoin is there's a thought that if the energy consumption, right? If the graph, and I did Microsoft Paint here to be it, if its price and energy consumption follow the same lines or similar, then it's fine because, oh yeah, it's cost more money to validate transactions, but the price goes up with it. So it's a win-win. They're tied somehow. Its energy consumption is tied to its price. So even if its energy consumption to operate spikes, hey, the price spikes too. So it's all offsetting. The problem is, guys, this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. In fact, its energy consumption's going up, and its price it doesn't follow. So the price doesn't. There's seemingly no correlation between the price of Bitcoin and the energy it uses. They're disconnected. There's no continuity there. So what does that mean for Bitcoin, who over the long haul, because of the nature of how the block keeps increasing, that its energy consumption will continue to grow. It takes more and more energy to validate, right? What does that mean over the long haul? Well, it means that if there's no correlation between the two, and the price of energy, right, which the price of energy and the consumption of energy only increases over time and it doesn't have an impact on the price, where does that leave Bitcoin? With that old, antiquated, original model. Thank God for it, because we wouldn't have all the altcoins and the whole industry wouldn't exist without it. So I pay homage, but what we have to realize is that without that connection and the simple, let's see if I can get to it. Without the price of energy having a direct tie on to the price of Bitcoin, that at least it in a precarious position, because energy costs can go up and the coin price doesn't necessarily, and it actually works against it. So I think that that's kind of the nail in the coffin for proof of work. The only potential saving grace for that old proof of work model would be if energy costs are reflected positively in the coin price, not negatively. That as energy costs go up, the value of the commodity goes up with it to keep it enticing. Instead, Bitcoin, I see a path where things start, as Bitcoin gets weaker, that the industry should wean itself off pairing to it. Because pairs on exchanges are we could go with one pair, two pair, three pair, and we can pair with USDT or BUSD or Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, or BNB. We can pair with anything. I see the industry weaning itself off of Bitcoin. Not to say that in the next bull cycle it might have a glory, but that depends on what energy prices do worldwide, right? If energy prices going up makes it even more expensive to validate and increases gas costs or things like that, then you're going to see problems for Bitcoin, just based on a technology standpoint. It is, it's hard on one hand because we're grateful for it, but on the other hand, I'm grateful for the Model T, car, but that doesn't mean I want to drive one, right? So I want people to understand, a lot of people when they invest in crypto, the only thing they know is Bitcoin. In fact, they call crypto Bitcoin as a general term. That Bitcoin's the only one they know. They don't know anything about work. They don't know anything about energy consumption. They don't know about how it functions, why it costs energy, and they don't need to. All they need to know is and is that the energy it takes to run Bitcoin is a problem has a problematic destination. And it's not whether it reaches a point where it's working against itself. In some ways it's already there. It's especially as energy crisis, like globally, as they move towards more and more. I'm don't get me wrong, I'm for renewables. I love going to the parks. I love seeing green. I love the idea that the whole place isn't covered in asphalt. I love our planet. This is the only one we got right now, and going to another one like Mars and messing that up too sounds horrible. But um, from a pragmatic standpoint, it's important to understand that there is a heavy push towards energy models that are not as productive as fossil fuels. It takes a lot more, and what happens is with the movement versus things that have a high output with minimal effort, like fossil fuels, they're having a very high effort, minimal output with renewables. And it's not good for energy costs because it means that when you're doing a lot of effort to have minimal energy produced, like with wind and solar, relatively speaking, it raises rates. So it makes energy more expensive. And what does that do for Bitcoin, which is super reliant on energy consumption to validate transactions? It means that your gas costs, it means that the cost to operate goes up, which only is okay if the price goes up with it. Since that doesn't happen, those are irreconcilable. That's like it's not a match made in heaven. It means that it's just a matter of time. So before it gets retired. Um, Now, if you've been paying attention to 2022, there's been a lot of things happening. Bad things and a good thing that doesn't get any news is Ethereum worked really hard to switch from a proof of work model to proof of stake. So screw proof of work, proof of stake. You don't even know. They worked really hard to switch from the old high energy demanding model to the low energy demanding model. What was their energy savings on their network? Not cost, this, that. How much energy reduction was there to manage their blockchain? 99.96%. It's not a small reduction. It is a magnitude reduction. It is night and day reduction. They spent a lot of time, energy, and money switching away from proof of work. And it wasn't, if you need to know nothing else, they didn't do it for fun. They didn't do it for, like, hey, wouldn't it be cool? They did it out of necessity. Something. Now, could I build another Bitcoin that is on proof of stake? Well, there is. That's the thing that kills me. They just need to retire it. They need to switch over. They need to do a one-to-one on a better model, like a proof of stake model, and just have there's wrapped Bitcoin running on proof of stake right now. They just need to say, hey, you're going to have to migrate everything over to this proof of stake blockchain that validates no more mining, no more this. They're going to have to do the switch and just do some sort of wrapped version and then retire the OG chain. They're going to, Bitcoin, if it's going to survive, is going to have to do something like Ethereum did because its price is not impacted by the energy costs, which I'm going to tell you what, if you look at how much people spend on electrical bill or a house or anything back, uh, if you go to, like, let's say 1980, house prices were low, energy prices were low. You look at those numbers compared today, even adjusted for inflation, it's like people are spending crazy amounts on energy. It's only gonna get worse because there's a global shift for more for less efficient forms of energy, and unless there's major breakthroughs, which could happen, where energy is just like, oh, you put in your unlimited diffusion reactor, you buy it for $10 and you plug it in to your house and it powers the whole thing and this and that. The energy is going to be a cost for the foreseeable future, and they're only going to go up. And Bitcoin's room in that, it starts to suffocate. So when people ask you, hey, what do you like Bitcoin? Um, all you can do is share, well, the technology seems a little antiquated, and there's a lot of people spending billions of dollars to migrate from that old technology to a new technology so that they have a life moving forward into the future. We haven't seen that. Like, I was hoping with Ethereum migrating that there would be a huge um, uh, reduction in gas fees, and we didn't see that manifest. So Ethereum's gas fees are still counterproductive for its growth as a coin in a blockchain, until they institute, supposedly they can institute the sharding, which will increase their transactions per second. Because if you look at it like, okay, yeah, they've reduced their energy costs, they they've changed their model a little bit, but those costs haven't translated to savings for the end user. And so Ethereum has some problems with that. If Ethereum could lower its gas fees and up its transaction speed, with sharding, it's SHARDING, not SHARTING, just to clarify. If they could increase their transaction speed and lower their gas fees, I think Ethereum would kill it and their price would soar. But they've not done that. They've done the first hurdle and they've kind of stagnated. Maybe some things are going on behind the scenes. There certainly hasn't been a lot of news about it. They're not making any positive headlines as far as I've seen, but I can't see everything. So maybe I'm missing it. But it can't come soon enough for them, that's for sure. If you look at their price, go to Ethereum real quick. Let's go to Ethereum and their price chart. I know it's a bull market. I know everything is down. So yeah. And they're paired way too much with like Bitcoin. Everything's paired with Bitcoin. So you see a lot of symmetry. If I go to this chart and then I go to, let me go to Bitcoin's chart. Let's go. Let's compare. Wow, look at this similarity. Little differences here and there, but general trend, they're moving at the same speed. They've both been proof of work coins and block exchanges and or blockchains, and they have a lot of parity between them. They're paired way too much. What one does, the other does, and they just keep anchoring or ballooning with each other. I would love to see anything that's proof of work also on regulation like Bitcoin. So this one is now proof of stake. This one's proof of work. This one's low energy. This one's high energy. This one still has relatively high costs, and this one has inordinate costs, which is why they run the Night Lightning Network on top of it, because moving all this Bitcoin is very expensive on gas fees. It is insane expensive to move your Bitcoin. Costing, to move Bitcoin can cost hundreds of dollars. Whereas if I wanted to move our coin on Binance Smart Chain, it would only cost like I can move, let's say $100,000 or let's say $30,000 worth, and it would cost $1.50. $1.50 to move $30,000. Bitcoin, you're 500-600 bucks. That's a big difference in cost of just moving your coin around. So a lot of people don't know that, like, oh, how much of a difference. So if it'd be one thing of like, oh, Bitcoin costs $3 to move 30,000, and ours costs $1.50. That's negligible. But when Bitcoin's like, oh, it's 600 bucks to move 30,000, and ours is $1.50, that's a staggering difference. So yeah, does it have a future? I don't think so, guys. I think it stays their number. So um, I'm gonna go ahead and leave you with that. And energy consumption is going up. As energy consumption goes up, without any major breakthroughs on the planet for energy production, where it gets cheaper and cheaper to produce energy with a consumption chart, then I don't know where it leaves us, guys, because I think it's going the other way. I think energy moving forward into the new, to the new year 2023 and beyond, I think it's going to get more and more expensive as people push for more renewables. So there's my prediction. 10 years, Bitcoin, 5 years. 5 years, Bitcoin will either be um, gone through natural selection or gone through regulation or gone through energy cost to run its blockchain, making it cost prohibitive to do so, right? Which goes back to the natural selection. But that's my prediction. I would be surprised if it lasted more than 5 years. Um, uh, from any of those standpoints, but even regulation and if you take out um, the the euro and the US out of the Bitcoin market, and it's regulated to, let's just say, third world countries, is it a desirable thing? I don't really think so, because we live in it's a global economy. I don't see it having a place, because its cost to operate it's too high, and it's only going to get worse. So there you go. That's where we're at. Um, Hopefully you found any of this. Um, the price of Bitcoin has climbed, so has its environmental cost. Let's see what they said. Launched in 2000. Once the domain of the anarchists and redditors, digital currency has since piqued the interest of hedge funds. Yeah, it got mass adoption, right? If Bitcoin is down, it's not because it didn't get publicity. In fact, the fact that most people call crypto Bitcoin, oh, Bitcoin, right? It should be huge. It should stand above its peers. And certainly on market cap, it's certainly at the top of the charts. It's certainly the top dog. It's about double, a little more than double Ethereum. It's way more than Binance, sitting at only, a tenth of its market capitalization. But they say also, with that considered, um, a large majority of Bitcoin is owned by only like 50 people or 50 wallets. So it's like, yeah, everyone else is picking at the scraps when it comes to market capitalization. All it would take is any handful of those big holders just dumping, and this would be guttered to fucking, like, it wouldn't even be on the top 100. So I don't think people know the math. All right, I'm gonna cut it there. However, I talked to the team. I think we're gonna be doing a fun project. I think maybe I've talked them into it. I'll tell you guys about it here first. Angelina, you have to cut it here and separate this. We're going to be doing a project where we're going to be launching a coin just for educational purposes. to show what can be done by a team that knows what they're doing. It's actually very simple. We're going to launch a coin, very basic coin that has one token, just one. There'll never be more. There's no burn, there's no mint, there's no nothing. And it is going to be, what's up, Adam? This coin that we put out, we'll hype it and we'll show people this. How I know you guys have often been like, the price, the price. I'm like, don't worry about the price. We know how to do price. I'm not worried about price. Price is not what anyone should be focused on, but everyone focuses on the price at any given moment. We're gonna do a coin, and I think we're gonna do its price at 1 quadrillion US dollars. So not supply at 1 quadrillion. Its price for this coin will be at 1 quadrillion dollars. So expect that to roll out in the beginning of the year. It'll be for education. It won't be for you guys to buy. Do not buy it. Don't tell anyone to buy it. Don't do anything. And then we're just going to highlight it, like, because there's a lot of ignorance in the industry that price of a token is somehow relevant to its value. And if that were case, this would be an extreme example of price. Obviously, if it's priced that high, it would be the most valuable, right? It would have an instant 1 quadrillion market capitalization. Why? I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna do that just to show that, to showcase in the industry how little people really understand about this technology, how price at any given minute is not a representation of the value of something. And I know that runs so counterintuitive, because a lot of people don't understand how these systems work. And when we first started, we didn't either. Like, it was an educational event for us to get up to speed on. I mean, it was long. We had a while to get up to where we were competent, not just, I don't want to say competent, like super proficient, like where we're experts. That takes a while to get to a base level competency. Didn't take too long. But then again, we have the minds that's how we think already, developing stuff. So we're gonna put that out, just kind of a fun thing to do to showcase misconceptions about what is worth something, what isn't, how things work. And I think we'll pick some satirical name. We're kind of trying to decide on a satirical name for it, and we just want to showcase how much of a joke it is in a lot of ways, that people perceive, like to name a few, like Dogecoin or Shiba Inu, any of those meme coins, that they truly are, that their value is it's a joke, right? And people don't get it yet. So hopefully we bring some attention, and some education and some questions about, how come it's worth so much, or how come this, or how come that, so that people start to understand some of these things that they don't yet get. So anyway, we're planning to do that early in the beginning of the year. A couple other things that I forgot to announce, now that I'm separating this, is we are putting out that video of our ecosystem. You're going to get a first glimpse video. We're putting out like a demo video of working live. They're just wrapping it up. They've got it pretty much ready to go. And there's some polish that's got to run through Tanya to prove some of the visuals, polish, things like that. Other functionality, I'm excited. The ecosystem is where it's at. We're going to have the only decentralized ecosystem that is low cost. It is going to be phenomenal, where it's decentralized, it's non-custodial. It is something that the users remain in control of their coin. when they're doing transactions. I mean, I'm so excited. So everyone else is going to be like, well, we do transactions too. Do you do it decentralized? Because if you don't, then shut up. Because I think in moving forward in 2023, that hopefully people have, here's the thing though, people have short memories. Maybe in the bull market, this whole, hey, FTX centralization has its problems. Maybe people forget. I don't know, you tell me. Do you think people are going to be like, I'm sure we can trust all these centralized, exchanges to hold our stuff, or do you think there's actually a movement towards decentralized cold wallets, things like that? You tell me. I don't know. Um, we're hoping that trend continues and that decentralized has a, we know that as far as safeguards, it has a future. We're hoping that as far as public adoption, with the tools getting easier and better, that CZ from Binance was right, that decentralized is going to be the path for the future. I don't know why I'd say that, because he's runs the largest centralized exchange in the world. But if he says so, I mean, he does run the largest centralized exchange in the world, and he's saying decentralized is the way of the future. So there's that. Anyway, if there's any other questions, you can ask them here and now. I'll be signing off, or you can type them in Telegram. The team, Omar will be out tomorrow. I think he'll be back on Monday. Omar, you're gonna be back on Monday? He'll be back Sunday. Apparently, he'll be working late Sunday. He can't stay way too long. He loves us. But I hope everyone has a safe new year. 2023 for Anubit is going to be like, I can't, let's list what's happening. First exchange, trust me, first exchange going to lead to second, third, fourth, boom, 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 boom. It's going to be dominoes. We're planning on reinvesting heavily into more exchanges for more exposure. Development, you're going to see our ecosystem hit. You're going to see our merchant network hit, where people can transfer between each other, kind of like you do Cash App or Venmo, or you can pay merchants with it, kind of like your Apple Pay. So you're going to see both functionalities out of a single app from us. On the merchant side, we're a full merchant network that closes that loop from receiving payment, cashing out, everything for merchants. You're going to see so exchanges, our ecosystem. We've got some exciting things, tools that have been a little delayed, but built to increase holder count significantly. Some exciting stuff there. And honestly, a lot of stuff. We have collaborations with, we have a brewery coming in next week that you're going to see an Anubit. Hopefully, if everything goes well, we're going to have our own beverage. So you're going to see that type of stuff. I know that we've been kind of hogging them for ourselves. We have t-shirts, we have swag, we have coffee mugs, and all that kind of stuff with our logos all over them. We've been a little, we've been testing them in-house. So I know that the intention is to get those out to you guys. And we've been a little lackadaisical just because you can only, do so many things, but I can promise you we are making sure that they're up to quality because we've been using them. And we've got excess and we're ordering more. The team's in good spirits. We're all kind of like, if you're wondering if we're exhausted, yeah, we're totally exhausted. But at the same time, we are really looking forward to 2023. It's going to be a great year for us. I don't know if it's going to be a good year for crypto. I mean, with regulations, I hope so. I'm not positive it's going to be a good year for crypto. I know it's going to be a good year for Anubit, which if people are, if it's a bad year for the rest of crypto, I think we're going to completely buck that trend. And we're going to be one of the most exciting things for 2023. Those that are in already, you're brilliant. Whatever brought you here, it doesn't even matter. You're with us, and you're going to prosper along with our side. So Influencers. Let's talk influencers. We've kiboshed any deals with influencers after the FTX blow up. If you guys are wondering, like, hey, what's happening with that? We had on deck, ready to go. Honestly, some were paid, and we've you know got our money back. We don't, until the dust settles with working with influencers or ambassadors of things of that nature. We don't. We want to see where things lie. I don't want to put, and it's just as much for them as for us. We don't know what they have to disclose in order to not get fined or this or that. I don't want anybody to be in hot water on our accord because of the industry we work in. Sometimes, I mean, when we first got in, you guys are listening, and we're like, hey, we were reluctant to get in this industry because it's got a certain reputation and it's got some bad actors in it. I was saying, if you go back to early videos, if you've been with us since the beginning, what you heard was Rose. Sorry, Rose just showed up. What you heard was that we hoped people would wash out. We hoped the bad actors would wash away, and some of that's happened. Like Terra Luna going pop, like FTX going pop, Celsius, Vault, whatever, Voyager, places that are doing extreme, like 43% returns every month, and we're like, yeah, that's unsustainable. You're over promising, and you can kind of see the writing on the wall. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And things that don't have sound business don't deserve to exist. Some things that do have sound business don't exist because they don't get enough hype, right? But some things, we're happy that fraud's being revealed and these things are washing out. But it is for us, it's been a huge challenge so far in 2022 because by reputation, we have to pay for the sins of others. Others tarnish crypto. Therefore, it's harder bringing new people into crypto. And we've still managed to. We've still managed to increase our holder count. Things are, really happy with people putting trust in us. It's very appreciated, and it's not, we don't take it for granted, but it's something that is harder to do in a climate where it's being revealed that what we said out the gate is truer than maybe even we thought. And there's maybe some truer stuff that's ready to be revealed from other, I mean, who knows who else. I know there's a lot of things around Binance and fear of Binance in their proof of reserve thing not being too being what other people have described as disingenuous, that it doesn't really prove the health, right? There's food ready. So we're not sure where what we know for sure is we're going to be doing great in 2023. I'm not sure if there's a couple other shoes to drop, and it might drive the industry down even further before maybe it's not at rock bottom. I do know that once the death and destruction in the industry has settled, I know that crypto, especially with proper regulation, is going to have the biggest bull cycle that it's ever experienced, maybe in the history of the world. We're going to see growth in the sector like no one's ever witnessed in human history, with this technology being embraced across the board in ways. We need better actors in the space, at least responsible, at least not thieves, right? That would be a good start. How about the crypto industry not be completely littered with scammers and thieves? If you've looked on our Twitter, you've seen that I don't know if the team's seen it because they probably yell at me. I called out some of the coin market cap shenanigans. I should probably do a video on that. We're in the process. Our application's up there. I sent a message to CZ from Binance, said that they're cleaning up the space, and I told them, how about starting your own backyard? I don't know if anyone saw it. We don't have a big voice yet. It'd be nice if some of the people, Bitcoin Boy and BitBoy or whatever, and Coin Mamba, and some of these people that have really big audiences were actually screaming for cleaning up the space in an honest and truthful way. So far, they're just caught up in I think their own egos, and they're not really. I don't know if they're really interested, but just a lot of egos and chest puffing and things like that. I'm so important. I don't know if they care, but we want. Theo's yelling at me. Oh, Watcher Guru. Let me see. I'm gonna click this real quick. Let's open it up. Did it open over here? Trying to get to it. Oh. I don't have oh, here.
For myself is a tragedy that should have never happened. And to all those affected, I want to say I am deeply sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Okay. You guys should check that out. Find that FanMed South Park video. Trolls SBF, Watcher.guru. Check it out on your own. It looks pretty good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's funny. Yeah. But yeah, CoinMarketCap, pay to play on the down low. They according to sources. Now this is allegedly. I don't know for sure. And it could be the same with CoinGecko. The same as if you guys were paying attention, the reason why Musk was charging for the check mark, right? The blue check mark is because apparently we're internal staff were charging anywhere from, thousands up to $15,000 for people to be authenticated. So they would reject people, and then another person would go to that individual and they would say, hey, I have access to the inside, I can get you a check mark, it's going to cost you. And what they do is they take the payment and they would kick back to the in-house team member. Let's say it's some processing guy that's making $6 to $8 grand a month, and they say, hey, would you like to make an extra $8 grand this month? If you check mark this person, here's the cash. And they would take money on the DL. This was brought to Musk's attention. He's kiboshed all of that pay to play, pay to check mark thing. Well, CoinMarketCap has been accused by others, allegedly, operates in a similar fashion. Same thing with some of the other listing services. They say that CoinGecko does too. I can tell you only from my experience that people do approach and people do suggest that they have this inside track. We have not paid for this. We have not also been listed yet. Maybe whereas there's other projects that are much younger than us, that have less volume than us, less holders than us, less everything. And seemingly, and they're just meme coins, they're just jokes, and they get listed right away. So it does suggest that maybe there's something to it, right? Can't confirm, don't know definitively, but in my message to CZ over Binance was basically, hey, if you really care about the industry. Now, those that don't know this, Binance owns CoinMarketCap. They own them. They bought them a couple years back. They said, hey, that site's getting a lot of traction. It's a pretty damn good site. A lot of people use it as a resource. I just did like 3 times on here. Look, CoinMarketCap, CoinMarketCap, CoinMarketCap. It's a great resource. So Binance bought them. But the coin listings, on new coin listings, let me show you, recently added, some of these coins haven't been around for very long. They've got some of them, like this is decent volume, but some of them have like stupid volume. Their volume's a joke. Santa Musk. Really? Santa Musk coin. Santa Musk coin is listed. Santa Musk. Okay, so you know it's a new coin because it's a Christmas Musk coin that just got listed. It, how did it get listed? How? Latest. Another scam. Another. You fucking morons. Santa scam. So how did Santa Musk get listed? How old is this coin? How old is this coin? It's only a couple days old. Let's go to its first transaction. Let's go. It's 25 days old. That's when it was made. 25 days ago, a million coins were made at the beginning of the month, on December 4th or something like that. And it had no activity until the last 11 days. And when it got minted, it just sat there for, 2 weeks, did nothing, and then had activity, some mild activity, very low. And it's listed on CoinMarketCap. So is it because it's got legitimate code? No. Is it because it has great volume? No. Is it because this? Or is it because there's something else happening to get it listed? Well, that would have been my question. Someone should have some accountability. How did that get listed? Doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, let's go to the community real quick. Twitter. Let's see how many Twitter followers they have. Ah, one following, but they have over a certain number of followers. Guess what, guys? These are probably bots. These are probably bots. That's bots. It's a huge bot problem. This is one of the first metrics of you getting rejected, and this is what we didn't know when we first started. Is if you don't have enough followers, you don't make it to an approval team, you're auto rejected. Period. What it does is it takes your Twitter address that you have to submit in the CoinMarket application. It goes to it with a bot. It sniffs your follower account and then it rejects you. And there's no it's not reviewed. It's just auto rejected as with some blanket boiler template that says try growing your project more before you submit. They didn't grow their project. They created a meme coin. They bought a bunch of bots. They submitted, and they probably there's a potential that they paid somebody to okie doke it, pay to play, baby. So they know that the odds are when they produce something like this that they can get a bunch of sales and a bunch of volume, which this is all represented. This gray bar here is volume. And they probably, it looks like the second they got listed, there's people buying and selling, and they're just dumping onto the public. Ta-da! It might be a honeypot, who knows? So rug is eminent. Yeah, same dev as hashtag Musk, which I assume is another coin. Yeah, people are just... So you infer whatever you want. Maybe there's a pay-to-play scheme going on CoinMarketCap, and maybe CZ from Binance, Ash, let me catch you up real quick. So if you're on Twitter and you see CZ from Binance, reply to him. Clean up your own house. Clean up CoinMarketCap. They've pretty much said it's not up to them to determine what's a scam or not. But it looks like there's pay to play going on. So maybe message. I don't know. Maybe send them a message. Maybe if there's enough people sending a message saying, hey, CoinMarketCap, is it pay to play? I know you say it's not, but it appears it is. Maybe you guys can help raise awareness. Maybe you guys just seeing this, doing a little forensic homework, are in a position that others apparently either don't know about, don't see, or don't care. But I'll tell you what, with 22,000 coins listed, and most of them being scams, pay to play. I don't know. It's not good for the industry. So,
A little shout out, I'm actually writing a blog article right now, updating everyone on the exchange listing, but I'm also going through our journey of trying to get listed on CoinMarketCap and our frustrations. It's not long. It's not like a rant like Rob. Oh, the dog's here. But yeah, look out for that. I'll be posting it on Telegram.
Todd's like, peace out. Ash, very quickly, 20-second update. We're going on our first exchange beginning of the year. We're going to be releasing at the beginning of the year our video showing the first glimpse of our ecosystem on a couple cell phones, showing how transfers happen right from a decentralized to decentralized wallets, able to talk seamlessly and handshake each other. The only decentralized transfer. We're going to be showing more of the Venmo Cash App duration of it. The merchant section, how you pay a merchant, is going to be coming second. And that's showcasing. We still have our ATMs that are still in the work. I don't know if we have the first demo. Hey, Tanya, do you have the first like any footage or anything of our crypto ATMs?
Yep, yeah, I have.
I don't really. For some of you, probably don't even know. Yeah, we've got ATMs rolling out too.
I have some renders.
So ATMs, people will be able to buy and sell Anubits right through our ATMs.
They're very cool.
Very cool, custom. Yeah, we're not just repurposing. We actually have. I mean, a lot of you guys don't know is we have access, a relationship with the fabricator. We've got for other projects we've done. So in our lobby right now is some stuff I can't tell you guys. And apparently there's a dog in the office. So anyway, guys, Ash, for any other stuff, I would circle back to watch the beginning of it for stuff you missed. I did cover a bunch of things. The whole middle section is just educational. You can skip through it if you don't want to know why I think Bitcoin will probably end up going to zero in 5 years. Yeah. So everyone else I won't be doing a stream tomorrow, so I won't talk to you guys till the new year. Unless we're in Telegram, we'll be on that. But I hope everybody's safe. I hope everybody's happy, healthy, and I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. I know mine was, holidays are stressful, but I've lost a lot of people in my life, and I really appreciate those that are, just taking moments to see people. I don't go into it assuming I'll be able to see them next year. So I really take advantage, and I know the only thing guaranteed is that our time here is short, and I hope you guys are taking advantage of it and enjoying those who you're lucky enough to have in your lives that are good people. So other than that, if you're going out drinking, please Uber or Lyft or whatever, and just stay really safe, guys. We want all holders to have a wonderful new year and to be around to appreciate the prosperity. Thank you. The prosperity that we are planning in store for all of us. So